Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Before I commence with the update on the HMS Eskimo, I just wanted to say thank you to three of my work colleagues, to Tim, Imran and Kurt, and also Kurt's son Jack. Within the YouTube modelling community, obviously we're there for each other. We give advice and we give hopefully a lot of encouragement to each other when we're doing builds. But it is quite nice on occasions to receive a compliment from others outside of that community, and as a consequence, the guys that I mention, they certainly Tim and Imran quite often compliment me on videos and builds, which I really do appreciate. Kurt I don't see as often as I would like, but I saw him today, and one of the first things he said to me was that his son would mention to him about my latest build, and they'd have a look at the video together, and it was really nice, encouraging words that he said, and I really do appreciate it, guys. Thanks ever so much. So onto the update for this particular build, HMS Eskimo, which is a dedication to my wife, as you know, and it's also build entry number 4 for the All at Sea group build. However, those of you who have been watching my videos will realise that I've already built entries 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. This one's taking some time. So I just thought I'd go through what I've done recently and where we're at with it. Okay, one of the biggest headaches that I knew I was going to have with this build was the amount of etched brass that is on it compared to builds I've done previously. If you recall the Sukuf that I did for Build Rat as a dedication build, that I think had my first occasion of having to put etched brass railings on it. So that was the start of it, and this one's got considerably more than that. So last night I spent 2 hours just putting on the rail that you see here, this rail here, these stairs, which obviously weren't too difficult, this ladder, and then that's duplicated on the opposite side. The problem I had was finding something with a radius that I could bend this edge to that conformed to this curve on this upper deck. I did eventually find it, so the having to do that a second time was much easier, but it was then trying to get the return on at these parts here at the right angle. But we've managed to do that. Just looking at the funnel, or the funnels I should say, sorry about that guys. So both the funnels have had I could only assume that they're some kind of guard or something. That brass has been added as well. You possibly can't tell on the camera, but these have been painted the light grey that I've gone for with this build. This is also obviously light grey, but this has had a sludge wash over it, whereas the railings haven't. So there are some parts of the ship that, for instance, if I just move the bow a bit, you can see that the bow, this is a very light grey, and again that's because it hasn't had the sludge wash. So I've got to apply that, and then it will conform to the colour that most of the rest of the ship is. This was a bit of a haphazard build, to be honest. I was doing sub builds of the upper deck sections and then also the hull. So I was flitting backwards and forwards from the sub builds, and so there were some things that weren't painted but were put together and so on. I've still got the boot line that's got to be here, just there. That's I've got to pull the tape off and reveal the black underneath that, but I managed to in some places go over the grey with the red and over the red with the grey, so I've got to do some tidy up. But that's basically it. I'm hoping to get it finished reasonably soon. The group build, the All at Sea group build, is still going on for another month, I think it is. So I definitely want to get it finished by the end of March, but I'd rather it be sooner. Ham. I am going to try and use the stretch sprue method and get some aerials and wherever on her, so that we can get some rigging, which will look quite nice. Buildrat has built a tribal class, destroyer. Uh, he's HMAS Bataan. Really nice build. He's got some 1350 figures on that, the flat figures. I've got some of those figures as well, so I hope to remember to put some of those on this build. I was going to do it on the Sukuf and then I forgot to put them on, just to give it a bit of character. He's added quite a few. He's added crew to all the turrets, the 4 turrets. I won't be doing that because she'll just look as if she's not engaging anybody, she's just cruising along. So there'll be some on the bridge up in this section hopefully, and there'll be 1 or 2 guys dotted around. There's still a bit of edge brass to put on. I've got to put a piece above the bridge here, and then I think there may be some railings towards the back here as well that's got to go on. So, but I'm getting there, and I have to confess I'm quite enjoying this build. It's been one of those builds that you have in the background and you pick up every now and again whilst things are drying or glues going off and things like that. The paint scheme for this is different to what a trumpeter would have you do for HMS Eskimo, and the reason for that is that I don't know whether it was Fine Scale Modeler did an inbox review, and the person who did the inbox review said that the configuration of the actual kit is for HMS Eskimo when she was not long after she was launched, like 1939 or something like that, whereas the paint scheme was for later on in the war. So this, I believe, is more akin to the paintwork she would have had in 1939 with the anti-slip green on the decks here and upper decks, and the light grey down the sides. So that's why it's different to the paint scheme they suggest in the box. So thanks ever so much for watching. I do appreciate it all. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thanks for joining me, and I hope that what I'm producing is something that you like. And as always, I'll catch up with you soon.